Hey guys, WhipChip here. Today I have a review of set 70321, the LEGO Nexo Knights General Magmar Siege Machine of Doom. This set originally retailed for $50 back when it originally came out, and this set also has two amazing minifigures. We'll start with them first. So here is the first minifigure himself, General Magmar. This minifigure is awesome, and I really like him. He has this really cool weapon, which looks a lot like the Ash Attacker's weapon, but instead of being molded in silver, it's molded in a trans red, which looks really nice. And the only other set that piece comes in is his Ultimate General Magmar. Speaking of Ultimate General Magmar, that minifigure shares a lot of similarities with this one, including the face, hair, and lower bottom mask, as well as, I'm pretty sure, the pants. Not 100% sure. But speaking of those pants, those are the same pants as Moltor from Moltor's Lava Slinger. Or Slinger. I don't know. But yeah, they work really well, though, for General Magmar, if you ask me. I think they work really well. I love his torso, too, because it looks a lot like the Crust Smashers torsos, but it has a little more, I guess, royalty to it, and as well as a copper Gestro head. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got Gestro symbol printed on it. He also has a really cool mouth visor, which reminds me a lot of the Ninja's half masks from Season 3 onward. And it's really cool because it's a piece that they only use for General Magmar. But if you want, you can turn it 1 second and see his face. I'm going to guess that's not what you're expecting. I don't know how I feel about that face. Now, in the show, we never actually got to see General Magmar without that mouth visor, but I'm sort of glad we weren't ever able to. It doesn't really fit his voice, because in the show, his voice was very British, and this is sort of just like, I don't know, I don't like it. But yeah, you can just sort of see I just turned it around. He also uses Nautocon's hair, or, in actuality, this hairpiece was first introduced with Macy from Nexo Knights. So if anything, this is Macy's hair. But it's molded in black, which was also used for Nautocon that year. It's easy to fall out, just like Nautocon's was, because there's nothing holding it in that head besides just that hole. He also has a pretty cool back torso printing, which, there you go. There it is. Just basically some back muscle printing. But yeah, I really like this minifigure a lot. This is exclusive to this set, and this character, only other set he comes in is that $10 Ultimate General Magmar, which is definitely a worse version of this sweet character. Next is Flama or Flama. It's sort of pronounced two different ways depending on which way you read it, but I like to pronounce it Flama. I really like Flama's design because he or she, it's really unclear again. I like to think of it as a guy, but again, it's Flama or Flama. If it's Flama, I don't know. It's just whatever. But I love his sword, which is a piece from Ninjago Possession, but works perfectly as a piece of, like, fire that he's using to sort of strike with. I really like that. And I'm almost certain it's exclusive to this set. He has really cool orange hands, which look really nice, as well as this orange and red dual molded tail, which it doesn't really give it, like, it doesn't really capture just how pretty and cool it looks on camera. He also has an exclusive trans-orange armor piece, which looks really nice. He also shares this headpiece from the guy from Ultra Agents. I don't remember his name. I think it was Inferno, but don't quote me on that. And if you take it off, you can just see sort of this really creepy face that Flama has. I really like that face. It reminds me a little bit of the Golden Master Overlord. You can just sort of see that. And then there's some flame on the back. This is a really cool minifigure, especially with that piece. It really does look like a flame brought to life. Last up, we have Clay Morrington. I've already looked at this guy already once on my channel before, but nevertheless, this is a great minifigure. His sword is always really nice to get, and it only came in a couple of sets in the first wave, because Clay only came in a couple of sets in the first wave, which is pretty shocking, being that he is the main character of the TV show. He has a really cool Nexo power, which is exclusive to this set, as well as two other ones, being this Dynamite Blast, which also came in Ultimate, I think it was Robin that had it, but it was Ultimate Robin that had this one, as well as the Sea Dragon, or this Lightning Dragon, which I think, I don't actually know what other sets this come in, but I know it's not exclusive. Clay, however, is really nice. He also has, you can see he has one face, as well as a more determined face. Then his armor is dual molded with trans orange and silver. And then he's got pretty nice torso and leg prints. Here is Clay's hover horse, and I really like the design of this. So right now I actually have on Clay's hover horse my channel shield. I just wanted to put it in there because my channel logo is actually the shield print. But of course, you can replace it with any of the multiple powers that come in the set. The hover horse design is shared across all of the different sets, but I really like it. All of them use basically the same stickers on the front. You can just see sort of that mane and that. They use these trans-orange Exoforce arms for the ears, which looks really nice, as well as this pyramid, as well as a robot from Star Wars Battle Droid's torso there. They also use a motorcycle frame in dark blue, which looks really good. This also has a spot to store Clay's sword and shield. I really like these things, and it's such a treat to get every one of them if you collected all of them throughout the sets. Last thing we'll take a look at before General Magmar's Siege Machine itself is the Book of Destruction. Now, this was the last book found in Season 1 of LEGO Nexo Knights, and it was found right where Jestro's volcano lair would soon be. I love this book so much. This has got to be one of my favorite books out of all of them. The dark orange works exceptionally well for Jestro because, they're lava monsters. So to have the dark orange mixed with gold looks great. All these magic books use the same back gold cover, but then have an exclusive trans-printed tile at the front. Also in this book has an exclusive print of an Infernox, which is a $30 Nexo Knight set, which hopefully I'll review on the channel. However, unlike the Book of Envy found in the Fortrex, this book is not exclusive because it does also come in the Jestro's Volcano Lair. So here is General Magmar's Siege Machine of Doom. I really like this build, and it's so cool. Now, one problem I know a lot of people have with this set is that it looks a lot like Jestro's Evilmobile, but after this review, hopefully you'll see it differently than Jestro's Evilmobile, sort of like I had to once I got this set. So first, we'll look at the bottom, which uses an extremely good part usage for this train rail, or whatever this piece on the hood of the train is called, because it looks really good. It looks just sort of like the bottom of General Magmar's half mask or guard or whatever. They also use one of these big castle frames around here and put a sticker on the very front of it. I really like that. They also have some frames as well as some teeth to get that very menacing look. There's also some swords on the side, which you can move depending on whichever way you really want, as well as some gold cones, which I really like. You can just sort of see those swords. Moving in, you can see, one second, let me move this up, that there is a little engine right there, which is really nice. There's also enough room to clip Flama, because he is supposed to be riding in General Magmar's Siege Machine of Doom, which I really like that there's standing room for this minifigure on this vehicle. There's also some clips on each side of the vehicle to, hold his weapon or General Magmar's weapon. Moving upwards, there's this little shooter right here, which you can see, and there's this little, lever on the back of it. Sorry, it's a little dusty. But what you're meant to do with that is you're supposed to take one of these globlins. There's more up top, but these are the ones that they give you as extras to shoot out. These are really cool printed pieces and come in majority of the bad guy sets for Nexo Knights Season 1. You just sort of, put them in there. One second. And then you click on the lever in the back. Oops. And fire. That's really cool. And I'll show you it again from the back, because when you just click on this, it goes firing. I was accidentally clicking on this little Mixel ball joint over here, but that's really cool. They also have some really nice stickers for these beams, these Technic beams right here, as well as some more rock lava detailing on each side. Speaking of rock lava detailing, they use these really cool pieces, which I haven't actually been able to review in any set, but they're trans orange rock pieces with black printed onto them. Those look really cool. Then, moving upwards, you can just sort of see that there's this little crown area, or what looks like a crown, but it looks really nice, like a ginormous face, using these little arm or claw pieces for the eyes. There's a print right here on this piece, which looks really nice, as well as another use of that castle chunk area. On each side, there's also these little catapults, which you're supposed to load these little goblins in. So you got one that's like this design, which I really like, and then another, which is more, I guess, like a sillier design. But what you're supposed to do, just load them in, and then fire, which looks pretty cool. Moving around, you have some spares, which is really, really welcome, especially printed ones like that, as well as some more spare disc shooters of a different tile than the first. That's also enough room to store, of course, General Magmar, as well as room to have your minifigures fighting, which I really like, sort of like how they did it in the show. Moving to the front, also, there are these banners up top, sorry, again, very dusty, with some helmets, which look really nice, as well as Jestro's flags, for, to convey this color scheme. But the coolest part about General Magmar's Siege Machine of Doom is that you can, in fact, flip it. Here we go, 1 second. I gotta get it to focus first before we go reveal the coolest part. But you just hold on to this little joint in the back, and the whole tower comes crumbling down. Or like that. And now you've got... But the coolest part about General Magmar's Siege Machine of Doom is the transformation it undergoes. You can turn it from this really cool siege tower into this rolling base, which looks so cool. You can sort of see my wheels turning from the sides that were dusty and were not. And speaking of the wheels, they use some pretty cool usage of like these giant saws, which look great when they're spinning, as well as these more pointed pieces on the very tips of the tires, which were new for that year from Nexo Knights. It's also got some little engines on the bottom too. This looks so good, and I love it so much. This area in the front where Flama sits more turns into the front of the vehicle, and I really like that. It looks like this thing could really do some damage to any Nexo Knight that comes, crossing its way. The engine also stands out more too. Some stickers also get revealed, which I really like, including that little lava patch on the little jail cell, as well as that. And, not to mention, the disc launcher still works. I mean, you have to remove the figure, because, you'd end up hitting it. But if you remove Flama, you can put the disc in and fire your disc. And it launches off that engine piece really well to sort of launch, up at whatever they're trying to hit. I really like that. One other thing that I forgot to mention, and probably one of the coolest parts of this set, is that when you lift it back up, you can see that there is a jail cell, and that jail cell is really cool. Now, I have Clay sort of in parts right now, but you can put him in there, lock the jail cell up, put the tower down, and now he has no way of escaping without getting run over by these wheels and their saws. So yeah, this thing is awesome. I really couldn't recommend it enough. I like it so much, but we got to get into that in the final verdict. See you then. There are 2 instruction booklets in this set, which is kind of a pain while looking for Nexo Knight sets, because literally all of the first year sets have 2 instruction books. But, discarding that, the first one doesn't have any advertisements in the back. Well, besides, of course, your standard Legoland one, as well as the TV show for Season 2. Oh yeah, I also forgot that. So here's all the minifigures. You can sort of see where I'm talking about all these minifigures. Really like Wave 2 minifigures, a lot more than Wave 1. And then there's General Magmar, who actually has different pants. So that is something to note. These are not the same pants. I will hopefully be looking at the Ultimates. Maybe I'll do a review of just all Ultimates together, or maybe just do them separately, of course. Then you just got all the Knights, as well as Murloc. Then on Book 2, you have a lot more interesting ads. Again, the Legoland ad. It's sort of funny that they put it in twice. You have this little scurrier, these, as well as where to find all the sets. And then the final ad of the entire wave. So, overall, what do I think of this set? Well, for $50, I think you're getting a lot for your money. Compared to so many sets nowadays, you don't really get, play sets that are vehicles, unless they're big $100 or $120 sets. This is the perfect mix between a land base and a vehicle, because it works as both. because you have so much room to control or to put your figures around, moving around it, as well as jail cell in the back to sort of have a prisoner. There's a whole story going on here, and I really enjoy that. There's not to mention also just a story between you actually get something for the good guy, you get a really nice thing for the bad guy, then you have something to fight over. This set is honestly an amazing set, and if you can find it for cheaper than $50 at this point, I would definitely recommend getting it. $50 I'd say is the perfect price for this set, but knowing Nexo Knights, I'm going to guess you can find it cheaper. Anything for $40 I'd say is definitely a steal. This set is awesome, and I can't recommend it enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.